and welcome to The Girls. On today's show, we're going to take you somewhere with Kristen and Jasmine. They went to visit a psychic. And then our special guest on the next segment will be Sylvia Lafair. She's a noted author of 2 books that she has, and the one is called Don't Bring It to Work. This woman you probably also can relate to because she is the woman who did the counseling for John Goslin. And of course, we all know who John Goslin is. Kate Goslin from John and Kate Plus 8, her husband. So we're going to hear from her as well. And then, of course, later in the show, we're going to be able to have you ask us questions again. So make sure you email us at thegirls@ssptv.com. You could watch us online at SSPTV. And you can also visit us on our Facebook page now, right, Jeannine?
The Girls, SSPTV. We have some great comments, and we'll be sharing with them the comments with them later on in some additional shows that we do.
All righty. So now I know everybody's anxious. Let's ask these 2 what happened at the psychic.
Well, let's just say I'm a believer. I wasn't.
Wow.
I am now, and that takes a lot for me. We went to see Charlotte. Charlotte lives in a purple old Victorian mansion in Berwick, Pennsylvania. Charlotte is one of 7 people in the world who has the power that she has. Charlotte knew nothing about the 2 of us before we walked into her place. She knew our names, Kristen and Jasmine. As a matter of fact, she didn't.
The appointment.
No.
Oh, okay.
She didn't even know what TV station we came from. And she asked us no questions about ourselves.
I like that. I can't
Not
when
one,
they do that.
Not one question, Jeannine. She knew nothing about us.
The chills.
Yeah. Jasmine, you found her online, world-renowned. I mean, this lady reads for celebrities that she couldn't even tell us because of confidentiality. People fly to see her. She said she's had black limos with American flags, think about it, with men talking to their wrists come to see her. So we can think where they probably came from. This woman, she means business, and she told us she means business.
We'll get to the good stuff.
Obviously, you can see that we don't have drinks, and the reason we don't have drinks, Jasmine and I this time, is she's very anti-alcohol. The spirits are very anti-alcohol. Right, Jasmine?
Right.
Okay, so she talked a little bit about us, to us, about the spirits, and what the spirits wanted her to tell all of you. So this is a little bit from Charlotte and the spirits that she communicates with and talks with on a daily, hourly, every minute, every second basis.
Well, I'm very excited to be here with Charlotte. And Charlotte, I want to, first thank you for welcoming us into this beautiful mansion of yours.
Thank you.
And also, I want to start off by letting the crowd know a little bit about you. So if you could just talk a little, you're a world-renowned psychic, and,
Yes.
and a little bit of other things that, that we don't know about you.
Well, I've been able to see spirits since I was 7 years old. I was taken out of the school system very young. I lived on and off in a monastery for 12 years to be a Reiki master. I have a doctor's degree in Reiki. I've helped law enforcement look for missing people, mostly children, over 22 years. I come from a family of law enforcement also, and sadly enough, not something I want to do. It's always sad when we get anything like that. I'd rather just have fun clients that want readings and not always cases. There is good and bad living, and there's good and bad on the other side. And it doesn't matter, What matters is how you live and what you attract to you. That's what matters.
All right, for more on Charlotte, you can go to charlotte.com, but now a little bit about the readings that Jasmine and I were able to have. And I walked in a non-believer. I want everyone to know that. And I walked out a believer. So for all of you non-believers out there, I don't know. I guess it's personal, whatever, but I'm definitely a believer. So Jasmine, let's start off with you. You started the readings.
I did. I went first on my reading. She handed me the cards. I kind of put, what she said I was doing was putting my energy into the cards. It wasn't about the cards. It was about putting my energy into the cards. And she sat down with me and she said, well, I just want to start by saying, you have a shift in your neck and it's kind of affecting your spine. You might want to go check that out at a chiropractor. And I just started bawling like a baby that I am. My tissue was because I broke my neck.
Wow.
I broke my neck and my spine don't even start. I have scoliosis. I know it's getting bad. So I just started crying because I'm like, how do you even know that? And then she went on to say that Bob's in the room, Bob's in the room. And I'm thinking, oh, Bob, okay, all right. She's like, he died of a heart attack. And I'm thinking, I know my dad's dad was named Bob. And sure enough, I call him later and I'm like, Dad, what was your dad's name? He's like, Bob. I'm like, how did he die? 45 at a heart attack. He was in the room with me. And like, it was just so crazy and so almost kind of scary and unbelievable. And then I just from then on, like, I just know that this world is different as we know it, but it's exciting and it's positive. And I feel like she told me so much amazing things, but at the same time, Kristen's story is what really, really, really
Were you in the room with Kristen?
Night.
Were you in the
yeah,
room with
and
her?
her
So you were reading
story,
together.
her story is what I want everyone to hear.
Right, we were in the room together, and when Charlotte started to read her cards, immediately she said, I see a young boy. I see a young boy in this room, and I see a crashed car. Oh, God. And I see, my head, and she starts holding her head, and she says, I feel so sick to my stomach, my head hurts so bad. And then she went on to a different thing, and she continued Jasmine's reading. And I did ask her in the middle of Jasmine's reading, I'm like, could people, since I'm in here, could my energy be bringing people in for me and spirits in for me? And she said, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we went on with Jasmine's, and then it came time for mine. And she said a lot of things to me, that she wouldn't known if she didn't have the power she had. And she went back to this boy. She said, this boy is back again. He's still in the room. This young boy, teenager, I see this crashed car. Oh, my head. She's like, I'm going to throw up. She's like, I'm very sick to my stomach. And all of a sudden, she looked away from me, and she looked at the wall, and she said, Charlie, okay, Charlie, I'll tell her. And as of right now, I'm just going to lose it. She said, please tell her I'm okay. Please tell her to tell everyone I'm okay. And tell her it wasn't my fault. And tell her, that I loved her. I didn't mean to do it. And Charlie was my 17-year-old cousin who was killed in a car accident. 3 years ago, he died of massive head trauma instantly. And he killed his girlfriend at the same time. And she was saying, I didn't mean to do it. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. And she's telling me this. And I could see Jasmine just in the corner of my eye getting upset because she had just heard the story, and I just was just amazed. And I was so interested, though, then to hear what he had to say to me so I can know what to go back and tell my family and my aunts and my uncle and my cousin who are grieving so hard still. He was 17 years old. And
how long ago was this?
3 years ago. And she's saying, he's here. And she would start laughing. And she goes, George is with him. George. I don't know who George is, and I would love to talk to my aunt about this, and I haven't yet. George is with him, but he wants you to know it wasn't his fault. And to add to that is there was a witness at the scene that had said that there was a red pickup truck that had cut my cousin off, and they never found this red pickup truck. And there were, a lot of people, though, were saying he was speeding, it was his fault, young kid not paying attention, fooling around in his Mustang Cobra. But he was saying it wasn't his fault. And then she got smiley and she said, I see a diamond ring. And he's smiling. And his sister just got engaged. And wait. She had no idea that I had a son. And she said, and he wants you to know he's with your son. And it wasn't only things like that. Real quick, I know I'm running out of time, but she told me to get my eye checked. She's like, your left eye, there's something wrong with your left eye. You need to get that left eye checked. And I legitimately just called Dr. Kislin and said, Dr. Kislin, I think my left eye tear duct is infected again because I keep getting an infection in my tear duct. She told me to get my stomach checked. She told Jasmine in 2 years, what, Jasmine?
Right. Well, just a couple things. She said we're both going to get married, which was so exciting. Unfortunately, I'll be getting married twice, which was so disappointing. But some of the really comforting things that she told us is she still believes in God. She still believes in Jesus Christ. And for us to have a good afterlife, you just have to be a good person. So it was like, okay, so I can do this. And
on the topic of that, I know you had an experience and I had an experience, and they say everyone has a sixth sense. If you've ever done Reiki or talked to someone who does Reiki, and it's all built on this energy. And I think after going through an experience like you went through and going through a personal experience, if you don't believe, then you do believe if it's tied to something. It happened to you at church. one time with.
It's something that people have to experience. It's not anything that's scary. It's
No.
something that's comforting. It's like God's reaching out and putting His arms around you. And your loved ones are all around us, and they love us. And so on that note, we're just going to say it was a wonderful reading. And we'll look for
and
more
we look forward
things
to
for
all
you.
your weddings.
Okay.
Jasmine.
Yeah, and I want to be a flower girl. All right, well, stay with us because when we come back, we're going to talk with Sylvia Lafair. She's a noted author of some books, and we will also get to the Let's Talk About It section of our show. So if you want to go online and watch or send some questions to us, we're going to continue on here at Sand Springs with our drinks and all of our delicious food. So join us when we come back. Well, welcome back to the girls, and we're so excited to have our special guest on. And our first guest, this is Sylvia Lafair, and she is a noted author. And my daughter Jeannine has some special ties with you, so I'm going to let her tell everybody all about you. Sylvia, welcome to the girls.
Thank you.
And Sylvia is no stranger to the community and to all around the world. You're known, locally and nationally, award-winning author and business relationship expert. But today, ladies, we're talking about the differences between men and women. And there is literally a brain difference between men and women, right, Sylvia?
You've noticed.
Yes. That women are usually right and men are usually wrong. That's what I've noticed.
Well, we're done. The segment's over.
Just sum it up.
Good. Okay, so you've written some books, and we'll talk about your books. But the differences between men and women when we look in the business world, let's talk about that.
Okay. So when I started doing research for the book called Gutsy, How Women Leaders Make Change, it was fascinating.
Good title.
Thank you. Are we all gutsy up here, right? Yeah. And out there, yeah? Okay. What was interesting was looking at, we know there are physical differences, right? Ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
Right? We do. Yeah. But in the brain, it's so interesting. So let me give you an example. Okay, you're at work and you go to a meeting. Men and women are in the meeting, right? Whenever you go to a meeting, there's a certain amount of stress that's there. You wonder if you're going to be accepted, you wonder what's going to be talked about, you wonder if you're going to be listened to, all of that. So here's what happens. We go into the meeting and the hormone cortisol shoots up. That's in all of us. We all have that. But then what happens that's so fascinating is women, we want to get the cortisol level down. Now, I'm not a neuroscientist, I'm a psychologist, but I know enough to tell you that this is right on. We want to get that cortisol level down because it creates anxiety. So we then start secreting oxytocin. Oxytocin. Anybody here who's had a baby knows about oxytocin. It's what gets secreted when we're having babies, and it gets secreted when we're in meetings. Maybe not the same amount, but we're having babies. And what happens is oxytocin is the tend and befriend hormone. So you watch women in a meeting, sitting around, and women will look at usually other women, in the eyes to say, "Are you with me? Are you with me?"
We got to stay together. Girls together. Team is in the
The
huddle.
girls.
Girl power. Hence the girls.
All right.
Now, what the guys do is the cortisol goes up. To get it down, testosterone. Yep, testosterone. Take no prisoners. So guys will take their turf, they'll set it up, and they'll fight to get what they want. Somebody out there is smiling, yeah.
2 men in the audience. 3 men in the audience.
But they all know that this is the truth.
Correct.
So what happens that's interesting is they don't look around. They want their way, and you'll get hand stamped on tables and stuff like that. What's interesting is if we're going to get along, if we're going to cooperate, we have to learn how to work together. Now, part of this is going back and really understanding where this began.
In the caveman.
Exactly.
When he knocked her over the head and drug her by her hair.
In the cave. Now take modern cave people. Let me show you, and this is from a very good play called Defending the Caveman. It's very funny. You see, think of a man. Think of a man on Super Sunday who knows he has to get a shirt for work on Monday. So he goes in early before the game is going to go on. He goes into the department store and his mind is going shirt, shirt, shirt. And he goes in, blue shirt, and he sees it. He goes, blue shirt. He grabs it, takes out his credit card, gets the shirt, goes home. That's how the hunters used to do it. They focused till they found what they wanted. What does a woman do when she goes?
Multitasking.
She goes in
shoes,
and goes blouse, blouse, blouse. Because we were gatherers.
Oh,
and
cool.
Isn't that cool?
I like that.
Yeah.
No, all we got to do is find out how to gather and give it to the hunter to use his card, right?
You're very advanced. You're the future woman.
There you go. She's gutsy.
I've been taking my husband along with me to do some gathering, and he's become a gatherer.
Well, look at that.
No.
Because what we're doing is we're making changes.
Yes.
But here's the deal. This is where we're headed. Women are gutsy now. We are really moving into the forefront. But if we leave the men behind, we're going to suffer. Right. I promise you. You know, we have to. I think it was, I can't remember. It may have been Bella Abzug who said that we have come down from our pedestals and up from the laundry room.
Well, they are good for something.
Yeah,
One
in
thing,
the same
maybe.
token, I think I could appreciate what you're saying, because even though I like having independence and I like having a say in something, I still want my husband to be a gentleman, and I still like when he opens that car door for me, and I like when he steps up to the plate and takes charge when I need him to do that. I don't like being the person in charge. Otherwise, why would I have gotten married, and why would I have been attracted to him in the first place? So I don't want to change him. I don't want to change him from what attracted me in the first place. Only in certain little cases that would maybe, you know, just to fine tune. But I mean, I loved the man I married. So now, why do I want to change all of this?
Well, what we want to change is we're moving to a place where both we care, they dare. That's how it used to be. And you think of teenage boys and teenage girls. Where we're moving is to we both have to care and we both have to dare. So we're moving to this new place where we're changing. And I believe it's time right now. That's what this gutsy program that Jeannine went through is all about, and what the book that will be out in February is all about.
It's amazing. Don't bring it to work. If there's one thing that people should do is definitely read Don't Bring It to Work. I've read most of it. What should they get out of that, and what should they get out of Gutsy, how women leaders make change? Because again, women and men need to work together as a team, again, to get the job done.
Right. Absolutely.
Will this mean men will start secreting that stuff?
They will be delivering babies at meetings, yes.
I think what's happening is that's very good. I'll talk to a neuroscientist about that stuff.
Is that what they mean by the right stuff?
Should we be wearing panty liners?
But what is happening is we're getting more balanced. And the younger generations are knowing how to do that. And it's really, really important that we, as women, the girls, really pay attention to not shoot the guys down because of what they're doing. I mean, one of the things in our Gutsy program, I'll talk about Don't Bring It to Work in a minute, but we have a little film clip in there about the difference in men and women's brains. And part of the research, this is from the University of Pennsylvania, is that men are able to do nothing and still stay alive. So if you see...
Because we take care of them. We take care of
sitting in a room doing nothing.
Yeah.
And it's a hysterical movie that we had to watch.
It's very cute. And we have more white matter. They have more gray matter. So we're busy thinking about everything all the time.
Right, multitaskers.
We're multitaskers. We're beginning to move to a new place. So keep in mind the words care and dare.
We should both care and we should both dare.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
well, let's keep that in mind, because we're going to go out to a break. When we come back, we're going to have some questions for Sylvia. Stay with us. Welcome back to the girls. We've been having a great time here with Sylvia Lafair, and this is the part of the show when we get to do Let's Talk About. So Sylvia, let's talk about, we got some interesting questions from the audience while we were on break. And one question that I have is, do you think the divorce rate is higher because women are now more independent and in more powerful positions? Well, what a good question.
It's a very good
Very
question.
intelligent audience of women.
Yeah. And the answer is sure. The answer to that, the deeper answer is we're all changing. And what it means to be married is changing. And the old rules won't work anymore. So we have to make differences. Women are stronger. We're daring. Men are learning how to care. You see more men in supermarkets. You see more men. I was at my granddaughter's elementary school, and I was amazed. It was during the day how many dads were there. You know, it was,
and they like it.
Yeah.
I mean, my husband loves to grocery shop and he loves to cook. So it's not that they don't like that role, but like you said, they're getting used to the differences of sharing responsibilities.
Well, there might be divorce. There might be a divorce rate maybe higher because of that specific thing, but divorce is actually down when it in terms of divorces in the latest years and the latest polls. Divorce rate is down.
each other as much.
It's true.
And
That could be true. It could be true.
Unfortunately, I will add to that divorce rate according to my psychic, and I apologize.
But you get 2 diamonds.
not
While we're going
always
back, you get 2
right.
diamonds. Well,
We have one more down here.
Jasmine will be adding to that divorce rate and making it go up.
I have a question to lighten the
for
mood,
Sylvia.
and I don't know who, it was probably a male wrote this, but can a girl or guy pass gas in front of their husband or wife? And the answer is 150,000% yes. If you're comfortable in front of each other, yes. I'm sure my brother wrote this, but I've been asked this before, and let's face it, I mean, women are, you know,
Maybe you could excuse
They're
yourself and
normal.
go into a the bathroom or
So
something.
wait, you're saying that men can fart in front of a
No,
woman,
they
but
shouldn't do it either. I just think it's vulgar. I think you should excuse
is
yourself.
vulgar.
Go
I
into
think
the
you should be able to
restroom.
pass gas if
If
you
you
need
happen to
to.
have a little tootie and a
A
steak,
couple
that's
weeks
different.
ago, my boyfriend came up to me. I was laying on my
Lord.
bed with my
Lord,
nice
Lord.
pillow. He pulled down his pants.
All right, that explains divorce number 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait. I said you can pass gas. I didn't say there's a difference there. I said pass gas is different.
Meet Sylvia.
Okay, let's move on.
Do I break up with him?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Break up with you. Let's move on. Come on, next question.
Come on, Kristen.
I don't have any.
Do you think more men are getting in touch with their feminine side now that this has come to the forefront, as in women kind of taking on a bigger role and a badder role?
Yes,
and I think so. I mean, I think, you know, you see men wearing pink and purple and, you know, and they're doing it and they're liking it and they're doing it freely and openly. And that doesn't mean that maybe they're, you know, feminine is coming.
well, the color doesn't
you know what I'm
mean
saying? It doesn't mean
anything.
anything.
Do you mean by
but how
feminine
about-
as what they do or what they wear? Because
think
I
maybe
think
they mean
men
the
are
girl with the
more
shoulder.
comfortable taking care in being in a marriage, that they're more comfortable taking care of the children, more comfortable doing the multitask that we ask. And Sylvia's giving me that weird look. I don't know, but
Maybe
my husband loves
maybe
taking care of the
sitting
kids,
back,
Well,
too.
doing
that's
the
good.
homework and stuff.
Listen,
and
here's the deal.
and
Okay,
doing
here's the
homework.
deal.
Let's ask the expert.
The
Lay
expert
on
right
the
here.
line,
Here's the
Sylvia.
deal. The couple needs to negotiate how they're
Right.
going to do it. Okay, and some will do more. You've got a good husband, keep him.
Yes, we'll keep.
We'll talk about your boyfriend later. and yet there's a balance. And men still need to feel good about being men. So, you know, color, one thing.
Right.
And I want to tell you, I did some research. It's very funny about pink and blue. And before the Second World War, before 1940 something or other, it was the reverse.
Really?
Yeah.
Women wore blue.
Pink was for boys, and I'll tell you why. Because red, which I'm wearing tonight, was a power color. And they thought for little boys that was too much. So it was watered down red for little boys. And for blue, for the girls, I will not comment on this. I'm just the reporter. It was about thinking about the Virgin Mary.
Now, here's the big thing. When I speak to my husband, I find out that I may be saying Sammy, and then it seems like he just hears Sammy, and then blah, 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 blah,
Like
blah,
Charlie
blah,
Brown.
blah, blah, blah. So now, what does it take for me to get my husband's attention? Is it the body language? Should it be the time of the day? Is it the words that I use? Do I have to say the word sex first? Do I have to say food first?
Body first.
I mean, what is it? And then how do I keep him like interested in the rest of the stuff I'm saying?
All right, let me give you one of the secrets. Women talk more than men. Hello.
Oh, we have more to say.
But wait, just listen. We do, I can't remember exactly, but like 7,000 words a day, and men do 4,000. You've got to get them, if you really want to talk to them, before lunch.
Oh, geez.
Because after lunch,
We talk about that.
they've used up all their words.
So if it was, if this used up all their words, if this show was called The Guys, it would be, how you doing, Kristen? How you doing, Jasmine? Okay, see you later. Because they really, it's not an elaborate conversation. And my husband makes fun of me if I'm talking to my girlfriends on the phone, and he'll hang up, and I'll hang up. He goes, "You guys tell each other everything about night and day." But they're like, "All right, I'll meet you at the bar. See you later. Bye." That's their conversation. He's like, "What are you wearing? What color makeup do you have on? What do your shoes look like? You know, when are you leaving? What you eat today? Where to go?" But women are like that.
They're the
Women are
gatherers,
like that.
they're the hunters, they
Yeah.
just want results.
Exactly.
So there you go. So get them before lunch,
and
get them
sweet.
early in the morning,
And you
and
can gas in front of your husband
wear
or your
something
girlfriend.
sexy.
All right, we're going to keep talking here. You could check out more of what we had to say on Facebook, to check out all the things that we talked about on any of our shows. There will be more things on Facebook for you at thegirls@ssptv.com. Right now we're at Sand Springs, and we're going to continue on with our party. We'll see you on the next show, so make sure you tune in to the girls.
Thank you, Sylvia. Charlotte.com. Visit our favorite psychic, Charlotte.com.